Yeah, thank you. So we're gonna start. There's I don't have like a presentation or a PowerPoint or anything like that. So I'm just gonna I have my notes written down on a notebook, and I'm gonna go from there. And I want to start with trading, uh, as in general. It's as complicated and as simple as you want it to be, right? So you want to add more tools or more confirmations or more stuff to your trading, you can do it. You want to simplify it, you put less thought on some stuff and go straight to the point, you can do it too. Everything works, right? That's the beauty of trading, because everything works as long as you manage a good risk reward ratio. And we're not gonna go over stuff like risk management here, anything like that. I'm mainly gonna focus on the cubes way, right? And in a little bit at the beginning right now, it's just want to say a couple of things that you have to, I guess, find out what kind of trader you are, or what kind of trader you want to be, or what appeals to you to be the type of trader that you are. Obviously, the gains are what the ultimate outcome is what we want, to grow the accounts, to that's the ultimate goal. But before that, you have to look at how do you reach that, right? So for that, you identify what kind of trader, right? And there's a ton of traders out there, and everybody trades differently. You're gonna see people doing order flow, you're gonna see people doing market profile, you're gonna see scalpers, you're gonna see day traders, you're gonna see swing traders. I was gonna say swing swing traders. And you just have to identify what you like the most, right? And at the end, what helps being in a room, what helps being and following people on Twitter, what helps being is watching YouTube videos of other people. It's basically to grow yourself as a trader, where you pick up stuff from everybody, because at the end, you're not gonna be Alfonso, you're not gonna be Cube, you're not gonna be Alex the Penguin or the other guys in market chat. You're not gonna be. You're gonna be you. You're gonna be Fredo. You're gonna be Belawa. You're gonna be Layla. You're gonna be all of you. So you're gonna get a little bit of everybody and make it your own, right? If you like it, right? If it doesn't fit you, you just it's not part of you, and you just have to chip away, getting you what you want and what you like, and then chip away what you don't like, right? Stay away from what you don't agree with. And the most important part of growing as a trader is that doing that is that not every time you're gonna be sometimes you can scout for opportunities, right? But a lot of times you're gonna be finding an opportunity through someone. That's what the rooms are for and everything. But and then you're gonna have to make the trade your own, right? Because at the end, you're the one hitting the buttons, right? So you have to agree what you see, and if you like it, and you have to get in if you like it or not. And at the beginning, I'll say it takes a little bit of time to like, do I agree or not with this trade? It's hard to decide that fast, but then later on, it's as you develop, you'll find it easier as a second nature, that when the trade is presented to you, you get a quick glance, and if you like it or not, and then you proceed from there, and you manage it as your own. So all kinds of trading requires different skills, right? I lack a lot of the day trading aspect, or the scalping aspect, and this is to clarify you all. That's why I think I said it a lot of times in the room. Like, this is something I want to learn from Alfonso, like big time, because he's a big scalper. Like, you don't see him on his operations, but you may like you're sure that he's getting into trades, he's getting out, he's managing, he's stopping out, he's taking profits, he's going in. So there's no a lot. Sometimes this is so fast, sometimes it's so hectic that there's no time to ask, neither yourself or somebody, is it still a good trade, or is it still good to get in or not? You have to own the decision at the time, because if not, you take a rash decision at the heat of the moment. At the heat of the moment, it's hard. So let me see. So there's kinds of so I mainly do swings, right? You guys know it. And I haven't posted a lot of swings because I just haven't had the confidence to do it. And mainly because I kind of, for swing trading, requires a lot of patience to wait for the entry and then to take the exit. And actually, I'm not very good at the exits, because a lot of my trades go double or triple more than what I take them for. So every day or every trade, I try to do an adjustment to what I do. But I can tell you that me finding trades often makes me more sure about myself. So it's like one step forward. Now I have to take the other step. Well, I have patience to take the trade. Now I have to have patience to take the profits, right? Now get out of the first sign of exit and whatnot. And you guys seen it on. You guys haven't seen my other past trades, but right, at least the ones that I have posted lately. Then we knew what the potential was, and we took profits before that, because we were in pain a little bit before that, and we saw new going a little higher, but we actually, I think the exit was fine on that one. It went higher than what we wanted for. I think we took it around right here. This thing ended up running around right here, but I wouldn't have no, I think we took it on this candle, but I wouldn't have hold it after this candle with this wick like this. I wouldn't have hold it for the next day, So overall, that was a good trade, and the earnings, we were not going to hold this to earnings, and look at what happened. It's just not what was going to happen. AMD was going to have a higher targets. It's all on my chart, but obviously I took the first exit that I could right here, instead of just going for more levels, right? And so every time I'm gonna try to do adjustments to what I trade and whatnot. So now let me go to my notes. So I'll explain you guys my thought process, so you can pick on my brain, and then you can go through your setups, or if you want to go through want me to go through your setups on my mindset, and then you adjust, right? So at the beginning, you have to identify the pros and the cons on the trade. So basically, you have to identify the risk. You're gonna define the risk and the reward from the beginning. And options is a little bit hard to. It's not that hard actually, but to define your reward, and neither your risk, right? But there's certain methods, right? You define a risk certain percentage loss, certain dollar loss, or a chart setup, right? A lot of people play dollar amounts, percentage amounts, or chart setups. So some people don't get stopped out of their trade unless it touches a level, and that's how they trade, and that's cool. Some people do it on dollar amounts, and that's cool too. It's you have to know what you're most comfortable with. There's a ton of trades on my end that I decided to take an approach on percentage stop loss, and it takes me out when the chart still looks good, and I ended up missing on gains. I ended up taking a loss when I shouldn't. So you have to find all those little things. So it's always good to see what the other ones are doing, how they are trading, and what do you like of that trading style. You know what I mean? It's not just about entering and exiting when they say so. It's also what you see. And if you are following just alerts, it's fine. It's totally cool. But I encourage you guys to seek the why did I exit it right here? Why did I exit? Why did I take it here? You know what I mean? So that way you have a knowledge or a conviction for your next place. All right, let me go next topic. Say there will, I guess I can go. No, let me go to my next topic. Let me see. So you're gonna determine the risk, the reward, and how long you're gonna stay in the trade. You have to be true to yourself what the risk you are taking, right? You have to be, when you're taking lottos, there's no stop loss. They're lottos. They can go to hundreds of percent, or they can go to zero. It's zero year, right? They're lottos for a reason. You don't base your trading solely on lottos, right? Let me see. And also, I mean, and after this becomes more of a second nature to you, you're gonna be more comfortable with the trades, Okay. So this is something big that I heard a guy on YouTube said, and it stuck to me, that our job is not to make money in the market, because the market's making money all the time. The market's job is making the money. It's always making the money, to the upside, to the downside. Your job is to be there when it's happening. It's, you know what I mean? It's a weird concept, but it helps to identify, like, I'm here to take the scout and take the opportunities that present to me, all right, so with all that said, it all comes down that once you're comfortable, once you're learning and all the stuff, it's you have to be very proactive with your trades, right? So what does that mean? That you have to be comfortable with your execution. That how do you place your orders? How do you do this and that? How do you adjust your stop loss? So you just have to be constantly taking care of the trade. Right? That's what managing the trade is. So you don't just buy and hold, right? You just you don't hope, right? You execute. That's a big thing. So be proactive. That's I have it on all caps. Be proactive. and you have to be proactive according to your style. So I mean, it's different points. It says right here, onto your own decisions, be sharp and prepared, and understand the environment. So I encourage you guys to jump on pre-market, even before even an hour before market opens. We are here and we're setting up what's happening in the morning, how's the market looking, stuff like that, and you can always jump in and see what it's say whatever you think it's. I mean, hear, listen, and plug in your ideas and everything. So you have it's good to understand the sectors, and whenever a stock is outperforming the sector or the market in general, so or underperforming. So that's how you strike on the strength, and that's how you strike on weakness. So with all that said, I'm gonna post some stuff on Discord that I like to see. Sometimes I look at the pre-market. There's a ton of channels that have what's it called, aftermarket recaps. So TioTrade is one. This is a good YouTube channel that they do market recaps. I'm gonna post it on Discord. And there's FX evolution.
Alexa, turn on night light.
Copy, paste. There is chart guys. Chart guys, I'm sorry, the chart guys. Copy and paste. And everything is very simple, actually. I watched that and some other ones. And it's just because I like what I see, you know, I like what they talk about, and they give me ideas, and they no. I'm sorry. So getting ready for pre-market action and after-market action, it's not action, I'm sorry, recaps, it's pretty good. So you pick through what they think, and you can make it your own, right? Trade is all about the market in general, and different metrics that they'll see. They have a lot of talented people there, and they'll take their turns to do their market recaps on what they see and what they think it's important, whatnot. FX evolution is pretty price action straightforward, and the chart guys, that guy is pretty knowledgeable. It's price action as well, straightforward. What's it called? There's some other guys that I follow too. They base themselves on, but I don't share them because they do more than market. They do forex and cryptos, and there's a little bit too much noise, I guess, at some point. So I like I'm gonna go over what I like myself, the Cubes way. The Cubes way, which is if you look at my charts, it's basically I have lines that I draw myself. I have a couple of moving averages, and I have a BWAP on this chart right here. On the bottom, I have the dailies. I have a couple of moving averages. I have trend lines, and I try to keep everything like sometimes I've been drawing lines, and I'll be drawing resistances on everything. I sometimes delete them, and then I make the chart a little cleaner, because sometimes my SPY chart used to be, I couldn't see anything. I mean, I couldn't see anything, just drawing levels and levels, and I got into a habit of just deleting everything and start drawing lines again, because sometimes you miss, since you have your lines, sometimes you miss other stuff that you don't see because of all the clutter, right? So you have to free up your mind of clutteredness, and that goes along with all the market noise that you hear, or market chat and everything, you know. So there's gonna be a ton of trades, 20, 30 trades going on the day, and I mean, be honest, you can only take like 5 or 5. It's a lot, actually, that you're gonna have to be managing. I mean, you're gonna have to be, even if you have 20 screens, you only have a couple eyes, so you're gonna have to, your focus is gonna be on your trades, and if they work, great. If they didn't, it happens, you know. So the way I trade is kind of simple, trying to identify the highest trend lines, most importantly trend lines and supports and resistances. So I like the people that trade off price action, you know, identifying supplies and demand, you know, where are the buyers sitting at, and where the sellers sitting at, where the buyers experience the most amount of pain, and where the sellers experience the amount of pain. So, because there's short squeezes all around the market. Sometimes the S&P is going to start moving up just because there's a short squeeze. There's a ton of people short, and they're going to have to clear the position and start buying delta back and pushing up the market higher. So it not only happens on stocks like AMC or GME or whatnot. So I go over my charts, and I have usually, I'm gonna go over the Boeing setup, right? So I have the daily right here. Oh, forget about this chart, forget about this chart. This is a SPY, this is just another, sometimes I put another, I put a stock right here with no indicators at all. Just, those are straight up candles, and I try to see what the, without any noise, what the candles are doing, and I just go cycle through time frames to see what I'm doing, see if I can spot something, you know. And over here is just always a daily chart, or either I switch it to a weekly chart, or I switch it to a monthly chart. And I just cycle through different time frames to see the potential of the trade and whatnot. So let's go over Boeing. I go from highest time frame to lowest time frame, right? So when I look at the monthly chart, you can clearly see some of this trend line right here. And actually, let's do a new drawing set. Yeah. So let's just do that one. I'm doing it also, right? So it's clean. The chart's clean right here. So I go up to the daily highest time frame, and I try to see what my potential targets are on a monthly basis, right? Even though we're taking swings for a couple days, there might be a time where we just hold a swing for the longest time, because a monthly candle, it takes a month to form, obviously, but you'll have the biggest amount of moves sometimes, you know. So if we were to, I think I was able to catch this one on this year, or half of this candle on this monthly candle on a swing of 2 weeks. So that was pretty cool on this one. Actually, I think I made it into the next month between something of you, somewhere like that. But how do you come to that? I remember it was a breakout of this monthly setup, right? This monthly consolidation. So to me, when I see a price contracting into a certain area, is basically getting ready for the next move up, but it can just consolidate for the longest time, you know, a longest time, until it decides to make it the next move, which this was the COVID crash, right? So what do I see on the monthly time frame? Monthly highs, set them up. This is when I see like 2 months hitting a high and rejecting. This is a more special line than the rest, and I'll try to color it and do a little bit of a color, you know, identify that this is a way stronger candle, right? And if I can spot that there's selling pressure about on this level, then we know that this can be if we ever go up a point like this, we know that this is a target that we gotta take profits or something, right? If we ever hit that, like it's far away. It'll be cool if we do, right? So with identify price levels, right? I gotta go look at the supports along with the resistances. So this looks like a nice support. And sorry, edit it right here, right? So this is what I got. At least this, right? There's more in the chart right now, but to make it a little clearer, we go to a weekly, and you'll see it a little better. You'll see the selling pressure on this area. You'll see the buying pressure on this area right here, and you'll see trend line right here, which is a little more clear than the rest on the chart. So you see all those wicks hidden right here. This is a dynamic resistance, which is the downtrend of the stock, and we're gonna identify what the downtrend means, right? We're gonna leave it in red. That's fine. So based on this chart right here and this pattern that you see, you have a more clear idea that this is more like a ascending, well, a triangle, descending triangle. Is that what it's called? I don't remember the name. But so the way I trade sometimes is that once I identify this, my best place to buy this thing is gonna be this line. If this was bought up right here, my best place to buy would be around this area. I know we bought earlier, but I'm playing a different setup than this. So this is one setup, right? Now, if you want to take a look at it in a different kind of way, you're gonna have to clear your clutter and see what the rest of the what the chart can tell you in a different way. You have to have different opinions on it, right? Create a new drawing set. Zoom 2. So another thing that I see right here is this right here. I was trying to find a way that why did we get sellers on this area right here, besides this being a buying zone, besides this having buyers? What else can I see? Well, I see this, right? Actually, I had this when I had this setup, with me and my friends again, me and my friends, we played the bounce of this trend line when it hit this one right here, and we played the bounce on this weekly candle right here. When it hit this line, we remember go back to the daily. We were buying right here, right, and we made a nice gain. We didn't take it all the way over here, but we made a nice gain on this. I think it was just one day. I don't think we took it to the second day. But that's well, where do I find my risk and reward on a trade like this? Is that if I'm playing a trend line like this, right, and I bought right here, a candle below it, a daily candle below this line tells me I'm wrong, and I'm gonna take my loss, right? What happened? We didn't get that candle, and the next day it kind of dropped. No reason to sell when the day started, because it's still on the line, and the stock went up, right? Or Boeing went up on that day. So when I joined this lane, what's my trade plan? Trade plan, because you always gonna have one, is that this trend line is now acting up right here, or that's what I think, right? Maybe I'm reading too much into the tea leaves. Sometimes you know what they say, that TA is astrology for men. I'm sorry, Fredo, I had to take the lead on the jokes since you don't want to share your comedy. Let me go to the week. Okay, so just want to know when we sell, like when Fonso says it did it 13 or something, right? I don't understand your question. No. So I'm just gonna go through my way, because Alfonso way is different, right? And I pick stuff from Alfonso, and you guys gonna pick stuff from Alfonso. You guys gonna pick stuff from everyone. Just growing as traders, you know. Let me just fix my line. Right away, right. So it's not looking the best right here, but let's see. Okay. Now that we hit this, I'm connecting this lows. I'm, like I said, maybe I'm reading too much into it. Leave this on the tea leaves or not. But if Boeing were to close a daily candle, oh, this is a weekly candle. Sorry, we're gonna take a look at the daily. So if Boeing were to close a candle underneath this, I'm wrong. I gotta take a loss, right? Because this is what I'm playing. This is a plan. And I'll probably have to adjust this freaking line that I can adjust right now. I'm just gonna go to the default one. So the default one is right here, right? So far the candle is very close to what the trend line is, and I'll take my risk. If Boeing drops below this, I gotta cut, right? If Boeing holds this, then what's your upside? Your upside, it's gonna be daily resistances and whatnot. So I went back. This right here I recognize as a resistance. So I'll take profits right here, and I'll take profits right here. And ultimate, actually, I might not even. Depends on how it goes. I might just let it fly, right? And as I know that the buying on the daily chart has been rejecting this long trend line, this will be a main target to sell. So I recognize that Boeing may turn around right here. Boeing may turn around right here. Boeing may turn around on the 20 EMA or on the 50 EMA, right? So those are stuff that I gotta consider once they hit. How does the stock react? Is it immediate rejection? Does it consolidate underneath? We're getting ready for the push. So that's why I gotta work on my patience for profit taking. What happens if you go into multiple contracts that work, the trade worked out? Do you leave something for a break? Because if this consolidation is getting tighter and tighter and tighter, so if this gets gonna break out, probably not gonna see it break out, because what stocks do a lot of the times is that ahead of an important date or important economic event or earnings or whatever it is, a catalyst, they're gonna sit right at support or right at resistance, and then they're gonna take the decision right there and then, you know. So I think one of the examples was IBM. If you look at the monthly chart, I mean, this is back to going back to 2013. It has this downtrend going on, right? And what is IBM sitting at below before earnings? It goes right to the top of the channel of the whole yearly, I mean, years of this rejection on this channel. And and it's at the point of make or break. Do they have good earnings to finally break the so many years of going down? No, it came down, and apparently you can even see that if I mean, this takes months to play out, right? You can even see that this is probably gonna go drop to the lower part of the channel right here. So stocks are gonna sit at the important levels then and there, right? So yeah, this is basically what I look for, you know, where the moving averages are sitting at. If I'm sitting right below it, I cannot take the trade because this is gonna offer resistance at some point. If I take it below it and I think there's gonna be a bounce, I have to take a decision if I take profits or not, a moving average or at a trend line or not. So that's what I look for, right? Examples of a successful trade the swing that we took, right? So we are on AMD right here. I think we took this trade when AMD was at this candle, right? At this candle right here. If I go to the hourly, it was this date right here. So yes, this red candle, we took the trade. So what do I see in this trade? We are above the moving averages, so that's bullish. We are above this. When I look at the daily, we're up above this whole selling area. Just look at the selling, this resistance, right? Selling, it's rejection, selling. Now, even though this poked through, and the candle is sitting right above it, so that's in a bullish hammer. So I'll take the trade. You know, I'll take the chance. What's my risk if AMD trades below this level? Even though it did, right? You need a candle closure or a lot of action beneath the level to decide that this is a losing trade and take the loss. And where's my reward? Well, I set all of my lines, right? A lot of the lines. We already cleared this level, so this will be the next level. To I always look left, right? You look at this level, you look at this level, you look at this level, you look at this level. So daily candle highs, daily candle closures on the daily, all the way to the left. And what does AMD does? I think at this level on this day, it actually, that's when we took profits, right? Because I saw on the 5-minute, I saw a candle that had a lot of volume and very little body, and that tells me it's reversing. So I had to take the exit right here, and it was right at this resistance. So to me, it sounds like it's gonna be, this is the point, the high of the day probably, and we're gonna reject down. And instead it consolidated above the VWAP and it broke through. So my bad for taking the early profit, but it was profit, right? And what it does, it goes to the next level. It closes above it. It's bullish. Next day, it kind of it was sideways day. It was you look at the daily candle, it just didn't move right at this line. So The price is not deciding, even though it trades underneath, even though it trades above it, when the daily candle closes nowhere direction, it's just telling you that there's indecision on the stock, right? There's indecision on this. There, you can tell that there's no big sellers coming in, there's no big buyers coming in yet until the next day, right? Once you take this candles high, you know it's gonna head to this yellow line. Once you take this, it's trading above it. You already know what's coming, all-time highs. So and what it almost hit it on pre-market right here. So it almost hit it, and it went above. You have to, when you look at sympathy plays and whatnot, you understand that, and you have to look at past earnings, right? Intel gave, I think, past 2 earnings bad guidance on their chips, and you know AMD is taking their market share, where a negative reaction on Intel is gonna impact positively on AMD, and vice versa, right? A positive reaction on Intel is gonna impact negatively on AMD, since they're competitors, even though they're in the same sectors, but they're still competitors. And you know that on the processor world, there's the main chip makers are AMD and Intel for computers and servers and all the stuff, right? So that's what I do, and not only that. Let's say for AMD, what I also looked at SOXL, right, the semiconductor ETF. So I know if SOXL is trading on a bullish formation, I'll also take a trade on the either SOXL or AMD itself, right? So it's I have RSI as the only thing that I look for. Also, I added to my my tool. So when we were right here, RSI was pretty strong, about the 50s or so. I use it to look for divergences or not, but the main the one of the tells was just the RSI is just strong. It's high, you know. We're not overbought, and we're strong. So it's, I'll take the chances, you know. On Boeing, I'm sad to say that the RSI is not strong, but I will still take the chance, you know. I still take the chance, and for Boeing, I have to look at the sector is related to XLI. What does XLI tell me? That there's still bullish momentum. Look at daily. It's just going up, up, up. It's breaking up. There was some bearish. I think it was one of the first bearish sectors to go into a pullback when we first started pulling back on the S&P 500, and the Dow was pulling back before the SPY and everything. And I remember it because I played the bounce on Triple M. Bounce had a 5%, but Triple M doesn't really move that much. It's a boomer stock, and this candle was a 5% day to the downside. And so sometimes I play those bounces. You know, I know that the downtrend is still on. There's a big 5% down, and I remember I took this trade as a bounce play. I bought the bottom, and I sold close, not even close, but the 50% of the candle I was looking to buy, because sometimes they'll have a rebound to a 50% and just continue the downside. So that was a reversal play. Alfonso doesn't take reversal plays, but I do sometimes, right? And also, I mean, you can even Alfonso takes overextensions, you know, so which is a reversal play as well. So it was very overextended to the downside. So you'll see some push up before continuing to the downside, right? So this does all I look for, you know. I keep it a little bit simple, because then if I start adding like MACD, ADX, and I don't know, other stuff, I just get confused or I already put a lot of information in my head to my trades, you know, where the VIX is at, where the IWM is at, where the sectors are at, everything's, you know, just to make a decision, an informative trade decision, you know. And that's for the swings matter, right? On the As for day trading, like I said, I lack a little bit of knowledge on that, and I know that's what everybody looks for. That's what everybody wants to. Nobody's comfortable swinging anything. Uh, even though a lot of the gains swing, yeah, like hypothetically speaking, like the hindsight is 2020, right? But if you were to spot that let's say that triple M is it's it's getting buying action at the moving average, and you take a swing and you enjoy all of this upside. I mean, this is a lot of points. There's a lot of points, but obviously it's not all the time. It's kind of rare, or whatnot. But that's about it. Think let me see on my notes. So you pick what you can learn from me or Alfonso or any other trader, right? If you are able to get a chance of look at the pre-market watch list, right? That we had today on Alfonso, and let me see if I can go back to Discord real quick. Look at the pre-market watch list. Okay, we had REGN, right? When we discuss this, what do I have to do? I have to look for what's the chart telling me, right? The chart is telling me that our Regeneron, I think it's called, yeah, Regeneron. It's having this consolidation right here. It has the moving average pretty close by the 20 EMA and the 50 EMA right here, and there's a gap to fill to this right here. So our Regeneron has potential to go, because if it opens and stays above this selling, you see this wick right here. There was some selling pressure right here. If it opens above it, the selling pressure is gone. The sellers are right here. They're not here. You know what I mean? But you're gonna remember that the stock market is traded 80% by algos or whatnot, and the algos are triggered by this stuff. The algos are triggered by, you are trading above this resistance. Now support, you're trading above the underneath the moving average, so that's gonna be selling pressure and whatnot. So retrospect, what today's high was this candle close right here. I could have drawn this line. I was hoping on our Regeneron we hit this 20 moving average, right? And if there's a daily candle closure about the 20 moving average, there's the next target is gonna be this, because this is another candle's high right here. And if there's a daily candle closure above this, then your next target is gonna be this whole the 50 moving average, and if that closes, there's this gap fill to go for. There's not everything's gonna take off right away. It'll be badass. That's where the 4,000, 5,000% the thing baggers come from, right? But main thing is that what do we see? You go to the watch list, and what do I see? Where's the action? Intraday, you can look at the at your candles, right? And you'll see that how is it once you place it atop, go look left. So why do we have this top? Is this top significant? Is this top matches to another candle? And if it does, you have to take into consideration that this resistance is stronger than what you thought it was. So now that you traded below it and then you trade back up on it, you have to take a informative decision, like do I favor that this is going to break out, or do I favor that this is going to fade away? How strong is this resistance? If I even go look and extend this line to the left, and I'm just gonna put it with this purple right here, and I go to the weekly, does this line have a lot of power to the left? Look at it. It's a lot of power. This was support back here, support right here, right here, right here. Does this candle have a lot? If you go back more to the left, look at this line. So it is very powerful resistance. It is very powerful resistance to consider taking either something off or to consider taking the whole trade off, right? But now what's the powerful behind the breakout of that? Since this was powerful to hold the stock back right here, or to hold the stock up right here, the break of this is gonna send it pretty nice up, because you're clearing this whole area. Now that I look more to the left, now I see this whole area that can be translated to this area right here. Breaking out of that, we can probably see this right here, which will be in line with the, I think, with the daily gap fill. Now it's actually a little less, right? But then you have a new target to that you can take it to, which if this breaks out, now you know that if this range translates to the right, from the left to the right, now you can have this as a new resistance point. And you have to take a decision that says, am I gonna hold through to see a rejection to this or not? And we'll see, you know. So I'm gonna keep this line right here. And that's how I see the stuff, right? Where do the sellers start losing control, and when do the buyers start gaining control, and vice versa, where the buyers start losing control and whatnot, you know? So you just go, I mean, hindsight's 2020 again, right? But try to draw a history of what happened right here. This breaks down out of a high, it consolidates after a move down, and it doesn't manage to go up, and manages to do a candle closure underneath all this consolidation. So what does it tell me? That there's more downside to come. This whole buying right here got deleted. It's no more. It's they're underwater. The sellers are either the short sellers are, I mean, the short sellers are in control, and this gonna put pressure on the buyers that don't see it coming back up. They're gonna start selling into this, right? I don't know if I'm explaining myself. So I don't know, it's a lot, probably I think it's simple, right? But it's a little bit of I don't know, it's a lot of information to take, but I don't think it's that hard to digest. And if you guys have questions, like if you guys see setups, if you guys are able to identify the supply and demand areas where the buyers are at, I mean, there's a ton of ways to do it. I keep a little bit of volume profile to the side right here to know where a lot of the price action has been dealt at, you know. So I know this is a high volume, not on the daily, on the volume profile right here. So I know that a lot of people are long the stock on this price, and then are they gonna look to exit their positions at this price? This was heavily traded right here. This is heavily traded probably on the weekly chart, right? Look at how long of a volume note is this. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a battle for general to clear this. But once you know that this is clear, it's upside. It's a lot of upside. It's a lot of potential, right? So you have to identify a lot of stuff, you know. What does the chart tell you? And you have to convince yourself, you know. Sometimes you have to look at the below it had to leave. Sometimes you have to convince yourself if the trade is good, or you have to convince yourself that the trade is bad. And good measurement is look left, pan out, zoom out, look at different time frames, trade off of look at Alfonso has hourly 10-minute time frames. If you look at stuff at the 1 minute, you're gonna see this you're gonna see this thing. I'm gonna see it like you're gonna see this thing opening, going lower right here, then start panicking, you know, like, oh shit, this is cracking down. Then you see it recovering, like we're going to the moon. Look, okay, I see we're going higher, but red candles. Oh, thing is cracking down. If Regeneron is crashing, oh, Regeneron is making it. We're going to the moon. Oh, Regeneron is crashing. It's just a roller coaster, right? So you have to just feed your information with what you're comfortable with, looking left and whatnot, you know. So this is a cube's weight. RSI, divergences, looking for divergences whenever we're going, you know, like the RSI is cooling down right here. This is a good sign actually. RSI is cooling down. It's still strong. It's coming lower, but it's cooling down. That gives a room for the RSI to go higher. So, and even though the stock it's trading pretty much sideways right here, a little bit lower than here. This is not that much, but considering this cool down, I consider this as a bullish sign, right? Divergences where the RSI is sitting strong or overbought or oversold, and we take our informative decisions based on that. And like I said, there's a lot more stuff to trading than just simple things, right? But at least you can pick this information and add it to your stuff. This, and now, let me see in my notes. I'll ask questions all the time, right? Ask questions. I know I didn't answer Bilal if he left, but I'll also answer him personally, and that's probably an answer for Alfonso. And then I cycled through the setup from Alfonso as well. You know, this, sorry, it's right here. You know, I also go through Alfonso's setup so I can learn more of what it is, you know. I mean, a lot of times, a lot of the stuff is kind of simple. Like if you think about it, when you're looking at the moving average, the EMAs, what the EMA is represented is the moving, is the average of the let's say this one is the 4, this one is the 8, and this one is the 13. So what the EMA does is that take the average of the candles and represent this on a line, right? So the average of this candle plus the average of this other 3 candles is the middle point of the EMA. And what happens when a stock moves excessively from the EMA is going to come back and retest it because you have an average to go for, right? Either the average catches up or the candles catch to the average, right? So this is how Alfonso will have to go through the stuff like that, right? But it's just like I pick stuff from a lot of traders and I just try to make it my own, try to understand the stock better, price action and whatnot, you know. Any setups that you guys want to look at or any questions? I think I spoke without nonstop for an hour.
You did good. You did good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Audio book of Cube's Guide to Not Losing Money.
Complete guide to not lose money. Well, complete. It's a half a guide to look for setups. You know what I mean? Or on my end to look for setups and whatnot. How do I decide to either take or what's it called or not take my trade? You know what I mean? This was.
In the meantime, I can answer Bilawos. I know that he's not here, but it's going to be recorded. So what I understand that he wanted to know is where is exactly when we have to get out, right? And or to be a stop is what to sell is what I understand from it. In terms of the stops, the best way to do it, and more when you have this kind of weird days that the stock is moving a lot up and side, is use a combination of your risk reward table, right? You know that your maximum loss is $200 for say something. So look for a support based on what Cube just showed you. Go left and see which is the strongest support that you have there, and which one is the closest to your maximum risk. you don't have to put the stop exactly at that line. You have to give it a little bit of room. So more or less try to adjust a combination of both. Which level is the support? If the support, the strongest support is way below your risk reward table, you're just gonna stick with your maximum risk loss regardless of that. I mean, it is what it is, right? What you have to take care, regardless of the levels and the graphs and everything, is to keep your losses at the same on the same level in terms of dollars. So try to do a combination of that. I show you how you can more or less find the price of the option to certain levels of prices in the, I don't know if you recall it, you can put it there, cube the option chain. You can move the if you see, I don't know if it's gonna be right now there, but if you go to any contract, choose any contract, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you have the price obviously of the contract, and down you have an expected Apple price.
Yeah, right
That
here.
one. So you play with that one. You move. I mean, you try to find your support. Okay, I would say the support is around, let's say 140, 148.5. So what you do is you just move the stock, the contract, move the contract price, the one that says 32, 271 or whatever, put one there. Choose
this one?
any, yeah. So now go to the contract, to the price per contract in the execution.
Right here.
Yeah, and move it down instead of 32.
Oh, okay.
33.
Yes.
So let's say
Okay.
it's 148.5. So you just move it down until it hits 148.5.
And
And that is gonna be the, and then you're gonna more or less locate what is the price of the contract is gonna be when it hits that support, and then you can
25
set
cents.
you can set a stop there, right? So that is how you can do it.
Oh, that's nice. I didn't know that. There's a ton of stuff that I don't know in Thinkorswim, and I can't move it all. I can't move around a lot on
So
Thinkorswim.
that is, so you can make that combination, right? I mean, try to sense your maximum risk, also to make sense with a technical level, and it doesn't have to be exact. I mean, if it's $200 maximum risk, it can be 220 or 180, and you can adjust it to a good level. And I know that it's complicated for contracts to determine what the price is going to be at a certain level. So this tool, based on the volatility that is at that moment, is going to calculate more or less what is the contract price will be at certain levels, right?
That's nice. So I can set a limit buy for whenever it drops to the level to buy.
Exactly. You like to work more with levels, just set that your stops based on those expected moves or expected prices that Thinkorswim does for you. Of course, if for some reason the volatility changes dramatically or something like that, I mean, it's not going to be exact, right? But at least give you a good idea of, if you're day trading, it's not a problem because it doesn't have that impact, right? It's more complicated when you're swinging from one day to another. That price is going to vary much more, but day trading, it's a very nice tool to determine what is going to be the contract price in certain levels.
Yeah, that could have worked very well today to pick up the VA swing instead of, like, I was just like, I don't want to miss it. I'm just gonna buy it right here, and I could have just set a price when it drops to
that would also help you to find limit orders to get into a contract to a position, right? Same, you put a limit order based on the level. You can go either more complicated that I can show you later on how to do it, and when you can program it. But that is the easiest manual way to do it.
Nice. I'll start using it a lot. I start using it a lot. Do you guys find anything of this helpful? Do you guys like it? Do you guys was I rambling a lot?
I thought it was helpful.
Yeah, that's who is that? Fredo?
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Especially you guys are. I'm hanging out with you all every morning. So I'm also growing as a trader every day. You know, like I said, I'm horrible at day trading, right? But I mean, scalping and all this stuff. Uh, I had this um problem that I I I follow all my rules to get in, but to once I'm in and the PNL is in my face, I forget everything I know and I don't know when to exit. You know, so it's
It
every day growing.
Yeah, I mean that's how you get better. You got to put yourself in those situations so you can grow.
Yeah, it's screen time, guys. It's screen time, and doing a little bit of a due diligence, doing a little bit of homework here and there. You know, uh,
Hide your PNL and don't see it.
yeah, exactly.
That is one of the suggestions that I can give you. I know that is very hard, but if you do it, I mean, because now you're gonna rely only your technicals, and the rest is gonna take care of itself.
Yeah, I think um so especially if you're playing levels, guys, especially if you're playing levels, the PNL doesn't matter because you're playing either the break of the level or take profit at a certain level. So it doesn't matter how much the contract went down for, how much the contract was gonna be at the profit. You're gonna take what the contract gives you at the level you're looking for, right?
You have a good question there. Do you do Fibonacci's? What is that?
I do sometimes Fibonacci levels. I do sometimes, but it's because I feel like the there's certain candles or certain moves that will have a pullback. Just like when something is overextended, the stock is not gonna go completely down to the downside, right? So we have this move on Boeing right here. We have this move to the downside right here. Do we expect more downside? Probably. So where can we take either a put or something? Then I'll go to a Fibonacci retracement and I'll be backwards. So I'll take the bottom. It starts going up, right? I still think this is gonna go down. So I take my Fibonacci tool and I look to enter the trade around the 50% mark or the 618 mark. So if you look at it, it was right in between those marks, right? If I think this is gonna keep coming down, I don't know, hindsight is 2020. But if I think this is coming down, I'll take a chance at this level. I don't take a chance at this level, right? If I take a chance at this level and this goes higher, so I take a loss or whatever. It's just for me to not buy this. And then I know it's probably gonna come back down and I'm gonna have to stomach all this all these losses until it becomes profitable, right? So sometimes I'll use Fibonacci levels to determine an exit and or I mean an entry to a certain area, and you'll see it. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it doesn't. Like let's say for example, Tesla was just too fast. If you were to try to do a Fibonacci level at the upside move, this has so much strength that if you do a Fibonacci level from the highs and when it starts retracing to the lows, this doesn't even reach you the 50% or so, and you never take the trade, and then you missed all this. So sometimes sometimes it's super strong, it's not even gonna retrace it, and this is even more bullish. If this didn't even retrace to 50% of the move, this is even more bullish. This is going higher. You know what I mean? So sometimes I'll use it, and what the Fibonacci is, it's a sequence of numbers and whatnot. I did study it. If you guys want to study more into it, you can read about it. It's pretty cool, actually. But a lot of the stuff in the world moves around those percentages, right? The 618, the 38.2, and the 50%, right? So in reality, I don't even have to. Sometimes I don't even have to look at. Let's say I think Netflix can be a good example at some point. Sometimes like let's say you have this candle. Sometimes I don't even need to draw a Fibonacci right here. Let's say I want to take the retracement of this candle. and I'll zoom in, and you'll look at it. You'll look at it at this right here. It retraced to the 50, a little bit below the 32. If I take a position right here, I'm cool with it for more upside, you know. But I don't even need to draw this. I don't need to. This is a candle. This is the middle of the candle. You take a position at the middle of the candle when it retraces to, and then you take it to the upside. Hindsight is 20/20. Again, I gotta repeat that because we see what happened. We have to take examples live because so that'll be better. You know what I mean? But yeah, you take a 50% of this move, probably. I mean, I don't even have to draw it, but I'll draw it to look at what the 50% move. And this is where you buy, right? Around this area, 50% move, you take it to the upside. If you're looking for a pullback into continuation, if you think this is gonna keep going higher and you don't want to be buying tops, you buy the pullback and whatnot. But like I said, you don't even have to draw it. Just imagine yourself like I'm pretty sure anybody can see it with their own eyes. This and this, the middle is this, you know. So that's how I use it. I don't know how other people use it. and this goes to a ton of time frames, right? A ton of time frames, daily time frame, right here. I'm sorry, from here. 618, 50% or so. You take a position in between those levels for the upside, boom, and it goes along with the 20 moving average, boom, you know, or I don't think I even draw a Fimo right there. I think I'll draw it right here because this is the initial move. So this is actually looks a little better, right? Take a position right here, boom, to the upside. So yeah, I kind of use those like that, you know. I don't know how other people use it because there's a ton of tools out there. But how to use it, Alfonso? Alfonso's not here.
How am I using? No, I'm here. I was watching. I use it very similar. Yes. Fibonacci, what is like a ruler. And what you're trying to do is you can either look for what is the move or one candle or several, a trend of candles. And what you just want to know is exactly where are the levels where it might retrace. And usually are those the 50 or the 61.8. And usually why? Because the prices move in zigzag, right? It goes up, retraces a little bit, goes up, retraces a little bit, goes up, retraces a little bit. So where you're trying to look is find those levels of retracement in order to look. Another thing that I use Fibonacci for is when you have already, you're in all-time highs and you don't have levels on the upside to compare. If remember that you told you go left, but if you go left and there's no price action there because you're in all-time highs, what I use is I use a Fibonacci retracement in order to find the next 61, 50, I mean the 50, 61.8 levels on the upside, because usually you're gonna have retracements there. Why? Because algo uses the Fibonacci levels, and based on the Fibonacci levels is where they sell and they buy, right? So that is an example that just keep put right in that example of Netflix, that you don't have what I just do. And I mean, and how do you draw them? You use the previous range. In this case, I will use only the range of the last candle. On Netflix, that one.
This one?
From the high. From, that one, exactly. And that is,
Okay.
I include the one on the left, the top of the left.
Okay, this one?
No, more left. Previous range, more.
This
that
one?
one.
Okay. So the low is this one, right?
Yeah, the low is this one,
Okay.
and that is your
So
range.
you have your range and you have your retracement. Your lines will be right here.
Yeah,
And then you'll
so-
see.
So the next level for Netflix is what is the price on that one, on the 61?
664 84 for the extension. 161.
Okay, and now we have a daily there. So now let's move to the what hourly. So you already have your levels on the hourly, right?
Yeah.
Leave the level. So do the same on the hourly, the previous range,
Okay, so I'll
the
put a
previous
new one.
range of the day, of that day.
So on
Of that
this
day,
day
yeah.
right here,
No, of the actual day, this one.
oh, this day.
Yeah,
So-
go to that range from here to there, yeah. And that now you have more levels. And we'll
Okay.
see voila, where it end up today.
Yeah.
Yes,
So we have this level to shoot for if it starts breaking this.
exactly.
We have this
You have more.
this 672 for
Mhm.
tomorrow. Okay. That's interesting.
No, but the 672, that is too wide for an hour. Are you on the hour? That one?
It is
the hour?
hourly, but yeah, it took the whole range.
No, take the previous range. The range from, don't take in consideration the first two candles.
Okay,
The consolidate, only the consolidation of the last, that one. That is the range that
Okay.
you have to take. And now you have the levels for tomorrow.
okay. So it will be 659.78.
Exactly. Leave it there and we can compare it.
Sounds good.
So you can see.
We'll
it.
leave it there for tomorrow.
And if you wanna shorter, instead of 1 hour, now you go to the 10-minute and do the same. Take the previous range on the 10 minutes. Go to the 10 minutes and take that range, yeah. I'll take that one. And then you have more levels. So you add them all, the 10-minute, the hourly, and the daily. What you know is that the longer time frame is gonna be the strongest levels, right?
Yeah.
The dailies are gonna be the strongest. I mean, the hourly and the 10 minutes are gonna be levels, but it's not gonna be a much. They can be crossed up and down very easily because it's not as important. But the most important ones are the ones that coincide. If you have the same level on the daily, on the hourly, on the 10-minute, that one is a super strong level.
Okay.
So that is a good way to find strength.
I'm writing it down.
If it's what I mean by combo 1, 2, 3. Combo. When I say combo 1, 2, 3.
I think he means when you post in the morning about the levels for SPX or the ES.
No. Combo 1, combo 2. No, that is a different type of level. So usually sometimes they coincide, but the levels that I put is only for the S&Ps, and those levels are the gamma levels. Combos is where the most of the open interest in those levels. You have the most open interest, either both in puts and calls for the SPICE and the SPX. So if you look to where is the most open interest, where is the most volume located in the SPY and the SPX for puts and calls add up, and that's the way that they calculate those levels, the combos. And the gamma, because I have combos and I also have large gamma. Large gamma are only levels for SPX. Combo are the combination for both. So you have a lot of open interest in that level, and that is going to act as a support and resistance as well. That sometimes is going to be very likely similar to the ones that you've drawn in the Fibonacci's. But it's not calculated the same way, because those combo and gamma levels are based on the options volume or option flow. And these other Fibonacci levels are calculated based on ranges of previous price action.
Yeah, it's different. So sometimes people expect some of the levels, some of the combo levels to be resistances and whatnot or the SPY or the SPX to close below those levels, because I mean who wants to pay those premiums, right? Make them expire worthless. So that's what I think. Once they break out, you're gonna get to the next one, and then you start hitting the gamma squeeze.
Mhm. Exactly. So great presentation, Cube. Congrats.
I hope you all like it. And
No,
I
no,
know we didn't
very
look at
informative.
everybody's setups, but the next sessions we'll do that. We'll probably have to do this as I guess, as an introduction to what this is gonna be. But the next Thursdays are just basically gonna be a scouting for setups, a scouting for entries, a scouting for whatnot, and everybody, I suggest people bring stuff to the room.
All right. And we'll have our second part of our workshop on the weekend as well. The one that we started last week. We're gonna have the second part more oriented to the technical analysis. And how do I look for all the trades that I place during the day, how I set up my alerts, and how I work them out. So that is gonna be interesting as well.
Yes, sir. Can you show me how to do setups on mobile TOS? I don't use mobile TOS, but it's very simple actually. That you tap the screen. Once you go to the charts, if you tap the screen, you're gonna have a little column to the left that says studies and drawings, and you play with the drawing tools. Play with the drawing tools to start drawing price levels, trend lines. Look at your charts, connect the dots, and on the studies, you can add the moving averages, right? You can go ahead and add BWAP. You can go ahead and add the 20 EMA, the 50 EMA. Those are very important on the daily, very important, and on the weekly too. Very weekly too, like just Netflix. I mean, you guys look at Netflix, for example. You always holding the 20 EMA. Does it tell you that you should buy? Sometimes take a chance at the 20 EMA. Yes, it's holding, right? So it comes back, you take a chance. All right. Have a good night, Leila. Thank you for coming in. Have a good night, everyone. We went an hour and a half, almost an hour and a half. Next time, it'll probably just be 1 hour, and we'll check, like I said, bring your setups, bring charts. I like charts.
Thank you. Good evening, guys.
Good evening.
Bye-bye.
All right.